Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We are continuing our Manor Lord series where we are trying to make a perfectly synergized county. So here we have Wallbrand, our future castle town, the main town, the hub of everything. We have the village of Farbarrow, the village of Goldhoff, and the village of Greystale, all up and running, mostly where they need to be. Few little tweaks still needed. However, over here in Wallbrand, we are still very much pushing things forward. Now, we're not going to go and get herb gardens just yet, so let's take these guys off for the winter, as that is what we have just moved into. And as you can see, we have a development point for Wallbrand. At this stage, it is time to go and get deep mining. And with that, let's also put one person on each mining pit. Now, we do need to upgrade to deep mining just to make sure we don't run out of salt. But we currently have a full deposit of 3,500. I don't think we're going to have any problems. And with the salt about to start coming in, we can start doing trade with our other regions to really push things forward. Now, we have so much firewood that we can probably tell that guy to simply calm down for a second. And we've got a good amount of building materials. Food is doing just fine. We are trying to make a bit more money. We want to get, or at least I want to, should we say, get. I don't know why I keep saying the royal we, but hey, why not? I'm a Manor Lord. I want to get these 3 burgage plots, 2 of which aren't even built yet, up and running as orchards, because they take 3 years to come in. After that, I'm going to get these ones in as my vegetable gardens. They take about a year. Well, they say they take 2 to 3 years to properly come in, but in the first years, they're not as detrimental. The orchards in the first couple of years really give you almost nothing. So I want to get these things up and running as much as possible. I am trading out my hides because, and I don't know if any of you guys knew this, but I just learned you don't actually consume food. Sorry, clothing. Of course you consume food. That would just be weird. You don't actually consume clothing. You just need it in your market stall. So if I have a market stall, go to my marketplace, with 50 leather in it, which as you can see we don't quite have, we've only got 15 here, it will support a town of 50 burgage plots. Now I'm going to have 31 burgage plots, and I've got 84 leather. Now unfortunately selling leather is a major trade, which is a little bit, I think, unfair, because linen and yarn are both minor trades. But anyway, so I'm going to sell my hides instead. So that's going to get us a bit more money. We're also selling planks. Going to get us a tiny bit of money, and hopefully things keep increasing. So that's where we are, and that is what we're going to keep pushing. So I'm going to go ahead and keep an eye on everything. Over here, our pack station. We can go and order a mule. And is that, I think that's our only pack station here for now. We've also got one over here behind our church somewhere. Go and order another mule. And let's check on our ones. We've got a whole load down in Greystale. Wait, so it's in those. They're all taken up. Yes, they're all done. Oh, wait. So did I just go and order a mule where I can't fit one? Did I just go and mess up? It was in here. It was here. Yes, I did. Okay, well, how about, because we could probably do another one anyway. Let's go and build another pack station. Put him onto high priority. Hopefully that gets built before the mule turns up. Over here we were fine though, because I think we were 1 out of 2, so no matter which way it went. And over here we are building, or we have built a whole set of apiaries. That's where our last development point went. And so we're going to start producing some honey. And so, like I said, I'm going to do a little time warp like I usually do now, because we don't have a lot of time. He is pretty much got the beta into the final testing phase that he wants it in. So if everything goes well, all of these changes should be live stream probably by about the time this stream is finished. I'm hoping to finish not this episode, but the episode after. This episode, I'm hoping to get everything ready to go. And the next episode, I'm hoping to push it all, to get that beautiful synergized county. So, like I said, I'm going to go and do a time warp, and I shall see you when things are bigger. Hello, everybody, and we're back. We have put down our orchards. We've put down our vegetable farms, so they're all on the go. We are upgrading to a few more level 2 burgage plots. We've got 6 here. We're going to get 7, 8, 9, and that will be us for now. Because I kind of wanted our orchard houses to just look pretty, basically. That was the only reason I chose those ones. Plus the extra families to harvest. Never a bad thing. They're not going to go and become our artisans. These guys will. These are probably going to be our 4 first artisans. We don't know if I'll have any more after that. And so things are moving along nicely. Let us upgrade that to a deep mine. That's the first deep mine out of the mining pit. And as you can see, we've dropped down a couple of hundred salt. We should be all fine. I'm selling a little bit of our salt just to help make a bit of money, to make sure this doesn't fall apart. And we have set up our first inter-region trade. That is why I've brought you back, ladies and gentlemen. Where are they? Oh, our stonecutter camp. He's got 1 left. Come on. Take that stone out the ground. We have... Let's see if I can find them. Oh, here you go. There's our mule. He is transporting salt back to Farbarrow. He's brought us some tiles. And the reason for bringing us tiles is so that we can upgrade our wooden church to a small stone church. I'm going to hit the upgrade button. I'm going to put that down to low because I want our burgage plots to be finished first. And then we will have a small stone church because, of course, we need to get level 3 burgage plots. And to get those, we need church level, which we've just gone and acquired. We need a tavern supply, which I have set up trade with Greystale, and they will be bringing us all of their... Oh, I can tell him to go away. They will be bringing us all of their malt. I don't want to turn it into ale in Greystale because... Although I suppose if I don't build a tavern, it doesn't really matter, but I didn't want to risk it being consumed by the local population. I'm sure they'll find a way to sneak it to their homes and drink the lot of it. So we will have malt coming from Greystale when we get to the next harvest, because I was selling it, so there's none there at the moment. That will also be being traded for salt. At the moment, my export from Woolbrand is salt. It's not massively needed anywhere, but that's kind of what my export is at this point. And then, we also need to get a trade set up with Goldhoff. But at this stage, there's nothing that I overly want to send to capital. But, on that note, I could... No, not Imman Ruth, please. Let's... Hang on, my game's going a bit funny. Woolbrand, please. Thank you. I could start sending over all of my excess leather and start to make some shoes. That might not be a terrible idea. I mean, we do get some leather from here, but not too much. Now, our leather in Goldhoff currently... Am I selling? I'm selling my hides. So I'm not particularly making any leather. Now, we don't really need to make any more money in Goldhoff. We're fine. We're not going to be importing anything. So as you can see, I could now start turning... I deleted, actually, my tannery. I could build my tannery again. And start making some leather. I mean, I could also just export the hides. I don't know what the cost difference is. They're worth 4. Without buying the leather, I simply don't know what they're worth. But I could start sending all of my hides over to... I didn't set anything up in this one either, did I? No. So if I select here and come to Woolbrand, if I send hides and receive salt, barter value 1 for 1. So I could start doing that. So let's get someone in here. Let's start sending over the extra hides and we'll start to get more leather in Woolbrand, and we'll start to make some shoes, which will give me my level 2 clothing supply. Now, of course, I do have to think of whether I'm ready to go up to level 3 because there's the whole question about food. They will start eating 4 different types of food. As you can see, I've got vegetables and berries. I am perfectly fine for 2 types of food. And I have the occasional bit of meat bringing in the 3rd. So that is all going for now. Now, we've also got a dyer's workshop set up. I mean, we're basically ready to start making dye, but I'm not quite sure how all that's going to go. We are, of course, going to be importing a massive amount of sausages. But, of course, to do that, first we need to get some salt over here in Goldhof. So, now that we are sending a few hides, we'll get a little bit of salt. And then we will start making sausages, and we will try to send all those sausages to the capital. Of course, it could be difficult because our people could be trying to eat them. They don't really care what you want. They simply send it all and eat it all themselves. As you see, we've got so much meat, vegetables, and berries. They should be happy, but we'll see how it goes. But yes, I was hoping... One thing I would love to see on the game is them either eating food in the quantity order you've got it, or you being able to assign what food they eat for what levels. Because, as an example, obviously the second one, bit maybe not so accurate, but the first one, if you've got a village, as you can see for this village here, which has 200 berries and only 14 meat, all of the peasants in this village are going to be living on mostly a diet of berries. Whereas the richer folk are going to be able to afford a little bit of meat because it is a rare and scarce commodity. So I personally think they should eat it in a logical order. That would, for instance, allow you to control things a little bit better. And plus, in terms of having a 3rd meat supply, which does help my level 2 burgage plots and would eventually then keep supplying my level 3 burgage plots. If all of my level 1 burgage plots eat all the meat, it makes things harder on myself. So there's a logical, I think, call in terms of a gameplay and a more accurate version in terms of immersion. Because like I said, the poor people of Warbrand are not going to be able to afford to buy meat. They're going to be living on berries and vegetables. So, yeah, that's one thing I would love to see. So I'm going to go ahead and pause again. We do have a lot of tinkering left to do. We are upgrading to our small stone church. Going to be beautiful, folks. And then we are going to keep building things through. We have almost got our first deep mine built. Let's go and chuck down our second. We've got lots of salt. I don't need to worry about suddenly running out. So that's all good. We're not going to be having to stop any of our trades. And so like I said, I'm going to go and do another quick little time warp, keep moving everything along. We're still even waiting on families to turn up in Warbrand, and we will keep things moving. So I'll see you in another flash of an eye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, things are continuing to progress beautifully. We have started to make a little bit of ale, not too much, but we are getting a little bit. We've also started producing shoes because now we are throwing all of our hides at Warbrand from several locations. We should be able to get a nice amount of leather and so start to make some shoes. So the only thing we are now missing is a tavern supply. Now I could go and fix this by putting someone in our tavern. A little bit reluctant because we won't be getting any more malt probably till around about Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a Christmas gift that's going to be turned into beer and sold to the masses. Now, we do need to make sure, I think... Oh, we have not got any planks. That's because nobody's in our saw pit. I'm gonna put a limit on the number of planks I want, which will be 50. Okay, we do have one more deep mine to go and get. But other than that, things are going quite well. We have started to set up trade. We have a butcher now going in Goldhof, hopefully making us some sausages, which hopefully can be grabbed and sent to Warbrand before the hungry people of Goldhof get their dirty little mitts on them. There could be an interesting race. That will be traded for more salt, which will go back to our butcher. We do, of course, have hides coming out of here as well, which is also being traded for salt. Over in Farbarrow, we have turned off our trade for now. We were sending some tiles, but we have a small supply. If we can look at Goldhof, Wallbrand, sorry. We have 26, which will allow me to make a couple more beautiful stone churches, because I am gonna build more than one for absolutely no reason other than it will make the town look pretty. And then we also have 2 people trading from Greysdale, bringing us the malt, but of course there isn't any yet until we get to harvesting. Now, I've also gone and I realized I've been being a bit stupid, and I don't know if it's just me or whether it was just generally how people were doing things. For instance, when you have a very fertile region and you can grow everything, try and intermix your barley and wheat fields. For instance, although I've got a field up here, it's not great for barley, but it's got 66%. If I do this, which is a good field for barley for 2 years, my second year only gives me 35%. So although this is in a more fertile area for barley, by over-farming it, I'm actually getting less yield. So those areas, for instance, where the flax I've only got doing once a year, so it's fine. But the areas where you've got flax, for instance, or you've got barley, do a 50 barley and a 50 wheat field, because although in an area just outside, for instance, I've got over here, where, as you can see, I've dropped down to just doing it once, which will eventually happen. Wheat here is only 67%. This is my my barley area. Sorry, not my wheat, because it's how I went and did it. But if I really go for barley, I mean, my second crop out of barley is worth nothing. So you really do need to do crop rotation. It's not just letting your fields go fallow so that you can have your fertility increase back to the good levels. Swap between the different crops. That way you are going to get the most out of your fields for the least effort. Now, I don't know if it was just me that suddenly didn't clock on to that, you know, because that is literally what crop rotation is, ladies and gentlemen. Or whether that's just a general thing that people keep doing, but mix your fields, because then you'll get the most out of them. Because, for instance, this time I'm going to be getting, what do we got? 40, 60, 100, 114 barley, give or take. That's going to be 114 malt. They have now changed it. You get 2 ale for every malt. That was his last update, other than the bug fixes for this beta. But either way, so I'm going to get 114. If these fields were up at, say, a 60% fertility as opposed to a 30, that would be more on the level of 200 for the same number of fields. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you actually do crop rotation, as opposed to me, who's an idiot. Now, we do have a couple that are, wow, still barley. We're going to go and let's call that fallow and let's call that wheat. Although on that, have we got any other wheat fields that are just doing wheat? Yes. You can swap to barley. Because, I mean, like I said, look at that. 29% fertility. Now, admittedly, that does drop as you farm it. But even if you do it for the second year in a row, you're going to be getting, I reckon, somewhere around 50-ish%. 50, 55, depending on what you start on, because you seem to lose about 30% a year. So yeah, rotate your crops, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be me. Don't be an idiot. Barley at double, 95%. I mean, that's going to drop to about 65%. So that might be worth keeping. 88%. What could we get if we did it here? 78. Let's do that. Barley there. And let's switch the second year of this down to wheat. Now, there's been a lot of changes. I'm not too worried. It's not that I'm running out of bread or anything. I don't need to keep my wheat production at a maximum. So some of the years are going to be slightly bigger than others. I think I'm still all good in terms as well of oxes and people do all the plowing, etc. So don't worry about that. So it should all be good. He's also gone and changed it, which I think makes it maybe more efficient. I don't know. My brain's not going to work that well at this point. We're making crossbows. Why are we making... Oh, no. I've just got 2 crossbows left over. The ox will now plow from the center outwards. That is one of the other changes that he's gone and done. But anyway, back to Wallbrand and everything that's going on. How are we doing? Now, do I release... Oh, somebody's drinking ale already. But we may as well make them drink them properly then. I had 20 ale, 17 ale. Who is drinking my ale? It best be because these people are transporting it, that's all I'm saying. To be fair, it might be because the reserve of ale in your tavern doesn't actually count against your number on your commodities list. It's very weird that way. But yes, so we are now going to turn on tavern supply. We are going to go and upgrade. We need to upgrade 3 houses. Now I'm going to upgrade my 3 orchards, quite frankly, because I want them to look pretty. We do have 2 level 1 orchards here. We'll see what we need to do. And also don't forget that your level 3 burgage plots, because it's level 2 or higher, also do count as level 2, because it's higher. So I'm going to go and upgrade these 3 level 2 burgage plots. First, though, oh, guess what? I'm going to need more tiles. So let's go and turn on our tile trade again. Because although I was thinking, I actually turned it all off, didn't I? Yes, Wallbrand. Send them some more tiles. Tiles. I'm not reading, by the way. I'm looking at pictures, and I can't find the picture for a roof tile. Where's he gone? Roof tiles. And just continue to grab some salt for now. Now, this will start to change because my artisans, my crafts people are all mostly going to be based in Wallbrand. Yep, Wallbrand, please. Thank you. So that's going to go and happen. Now, of course, I could go and grab the clay from here. He can finally come back. I'm going to leave it there. It's too much effort to demolish. I could have, of course, grabbed the clay from here and changed it to roof tiles. But obviously, I'm trying to go for this inter-region trade thing. So I'm gonna keep that going, basically. So we'll get a few more tiles because, again, I probably do want to build maybe 2 more churches. I want to have a couple of churches. You know, this is supposed to be a big castle town, in essence. So, yeah, we're going to go and do that. And, of course, I am going to need a manor house. Now, I'm liking... This looks like a bit of a hill. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to have a bit more of an elaborate manor house here. Because, of course, those are small villages. They've got a small manor house, maybe a little defensive tower, a little tax office. This one's going to be a bit bigger. On that, now I'm sure my logging camps are very much both full. How are we doing? The fuel is being turned around. The woodcutter's hut. I'm going to go and click on advanced. Let's have you cut all of this down for me. That's going to be my future manor house. And so with that being cut down, we've got plenty of logs. How am I doing on planks? 50. What I'm going to do is, because my manor house could end up being quite expensive, let's put that up to 100. That'll also allow my logging camps to continue, as that is going to take away some of them. Let's go ahead. There you go. That'll be a deep mine, and so I do not have any more worries about my salt deposit. Question, am I getting any sausages? No, I'm not. Are we managing to transport any sausages? Let's have a look at Goldhof, shall we? You have 12 sausages. You are sausages and salt. The people, they're all off bartering. Now, none of them have taken a mule. Both of our mules are following in town for some reason. Who are you? Pack station worker bartering. Wallbrand hides for salt.
Meat. Get your meat here.
Interesting. And also, he's not actually walking. Hey, there he goes. Interesting. He's been stolen by the other pack station. That being the case, if that's how it works, what I want to do... Our pasture space is coming up beautifully. So I've got 2 pack stations and technically 6 people. So what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go and build them also a hitching post, upgrade it to a stable, and get 2 more mules in there. That should allow everybody to use a mule. That being the case, do the same thing over here. Let's get a hitching post. Again, that should allow everybody, although I've apparently still got 3 stable space. That is because I need to order a mule for here. That'll leave me with technically 1 stable space. Not quite sure where. That'll be 3 more. Could have 2 horses. Yeah, that makes me think that I have a stable somewhere. There's a spot in it, or maybe not. I don't know. The game could just be going funny. I have not been starting new games when the patches have come out, which is what you should do. Because, of course, I didn't want to have to lose this and then restart it. Now, we are making lots and lots of yarn. Which is good. Because I think, as well, going to be sending my yarn to the capital. We are potentially going to be making the likes of cloaks. Gambesons and all that stuff. Obviously, they take linen as well. That'll be coming from Greystale. Imminent Roof. No. Woolbrand, please. Thank you. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The inter-region trade has begun. Is it efficient? Not yet. There you go. As you can see, we're already out of ale. We have nothing stored inside here. Because of, as well, the annoying buggers eat. They all drink ale, even though it is something that's only needed by a level 2 or a level 3 burgage plot. That is one of my slight pet peeves as well. And you know, I get it, of course, you know, I do understand it, but it's not needed by level 1 burgage plots. The advantage of keeping them as a level 1 burgage plot should be that I shouldn't have to provide them with ale. But everybody in your town, regardless of level, seems to drink the ale. It's a pain. So as you can see, I can't upgrade any of my level 3s. All of them are crying out for ale, which is not good. And some of them are even crying out for that 3rd food source, because as you can see, we've got 2 meat, but again, that's going to be being eaten by the level 1 burgage plots. Whereas they should all be eating berries, because let's be honest, we've got some spare berries. We have lots of spare berries. That should be the peasant's diet. Let's go and make it so we can get some herbs. But alas, it is not to be. Now, we should also be getting some sausages. Once again, very, very rare resource. Should be being eaten by the higher class. This is just my opinion, don't get me wrong. Just my opinion, but I think it would make things more realistic and also easier to manage for yourselves. Now, what we can be doing is we do have all of these level 1 burgage plots here. Now, I think if we gave them a little back garden thing... Now, I'm not going to go and give them eggs, because I don't think it's going to do much, because a couple of eggs aren't going to get me anything. So I am going to get them animal pens. Let's go and upgrade these all to animal pens. And it's not going to be much, but I think I am going to make them all... Ooh. Now, of course, there is arguments for hides, but I think that industry is good. So I'm going to make them all pigs. I mean, it's not going to be much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6. And they only give 2 meat every 100 and something days. In fact, I don't know why I went and did that, because I actually disagree with what I've just gone and done. I should leave these and make them artisans when I need them. Because with the orchards eventually going to come in, that'll be a 3rd food source. We have sausages. We're going to get a little bit of sausage, a little bit of meat, not much. We might even start trying to grab the honey from Farbarrow, although they've probably not really got much. No, only 5 honey. Lots of vegetables, lots of berries. Again, so our peasant diet should be vegetables with some berries on top. Not a very exciting diet, but that's why it's called a peasant diet. We are exporting roof tiles down to 100. That is a good number. We are. We do have, more to the point, probably so much clay. Yes, we do. Let's go and get another clay furnace up and running. Are we still trading out our iron slabs? We are trading out iron slabs as well. Down to a 0. Now, I'm going to go and change that down to a 50. No, I'm not, because it's not typing. Down to a 50. because I may start sending all of these iron slabs to the capital to start making. I mean, again, we could go and get the rich iron deposit, and we probably should. But I'm gonna try and ignore it for the sake of getting this perfect regional trade going. Now, we are not going to be getting that tavern supply sorted. I'm actually going to take the person out of my tavern because I want to potentially build up a bit of beer. Now, we are trading out our salt, which is perfectly fine. We could still do with a tiny bit of regional wealth in Wolbrand. We did take out some bandit camps, but for some reason, it sent all of our money to Eckenhow. So this is now an extremely rich region, which has nothing in it. Wolbrand, on the other hand, which is where we wanted the money to go. And, just as an FYI, the bandit camps were Selbitz and Hofstetten. So you should have thought either Goldhof or Wolbrand at a push. But no, they all ended up in Eckenhow, which is where all of our regional wealth is. We have so much food up here, it's just ridiculous. We have so many berries. I could probably start using a few. I mean, we've only got 30 families. 30 families, if they all eat berries as their first food source, is only going to be, what, 360 a year? I mean, I've got 415 right now. Plus 456 meat and 275 vegetables. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and build me a dyer's workshop, I think. Although I was going to aim... I've got one in Wolbrand, but... berries is also my current major food source. So I should get apples, but that's a little way away. Vegetables are keeping me in good standings as well. Are we going to try and get some... Are we going to try and get some farming going in Wolbrand? Ideally, no, because it's a castle town. Secondly, no, because I've gone and placed all my buildings on the fertile region. That's really not going to happen anyway, even at an afterthought. But of course, we shouldn't have to, because we should have lots of things come from somewhere else. Greysdale, not actually doing amazing when it comes to food. A bit crazy that, hey? Of course, we are about to go and harvest our apples, which is where a large source of our food comes from. You would have thought Greysdale would be winning, but it's not. The winner is, currently... Wolbrand building a bunch of... yes, the upgrade into the animal pens, which I'm now going to go and ignore. Because I've decided it's not actually where I should be doing. Over here in Goldhof is where we have all of our food, though. All of that meat. And that is not even with a butcher working on our sheeps and lambs. All of them, as you can see, we want to get to about 30 sheep. And they take a very long time to grow, it seems. I feel like I've been having sheep on the go for a good 4 or 5 years. And we're still only up to 28 animals in total. Crazy. Hitching post, upgrade to the stables, along with our hitching post over here. And so, everything is going quite nicely. Even over here, we have more food. Or once again, a bit of a smaller village. So maybe, I think for now, let's go and build that dyer's workshop over here. We have three families. Gonna go and build it down here. On the edge here. We'll get one family in there, but we are going to limit them quite strongly to maybe 300 berries. Basically, when there's harvest going on, we should be able to make a good 50 to 100 dye, I think. Although, of course, I could just limit them on the number of dye, never to go above, say, 100 or 50. I mean, with the pack stations going back and forth, that should probably be good enough. Now, I actually want another pack station. If I'm going to start exporting dyes as well. 1, 2, 9, 6, 8. Yeah, that'll do. That should put us in good enough stead for our mules. And so that's going to be even more export coming out of Goldhof. In Farbarrow, I don't think we have any export currently going, do we? Oh, we do, yes. Roof tiles for salt. How are we doing for roof tiles in Wolbrand? 48. we'll keep that going for a short while, of course. Unfortunately, there's no limiters on the pack stations. So it would have to be something that either you're good going exponentially or you have to keep an eye on. For now, we're keeping an eye on it because we're still setting things up, but we're also happy for certain things to go exponentially. For instance, malt. Get rid of all the malt you can. Bring in sausages for salt. Again, bring in all of the sausages you possibly can. 5 sausages, ladies and gentlemen. 5 sausages. Now, of course, if we can make sure those guys come on mules as opposed to carrying them themselves, that'll actually go a lot better. But currently, well, it's not, quite frankly. And of course, we are going to try and start building up our ale supply, so I can start to lean into level 3 burgage plots. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for on this episode. The next episode, we are going to look to have Woolbrand up to a level 6 settlement, which will be a small city, if I remember the name off the top of my head. And we're also going to look to have all of our trade set up and working beautifully. And so on that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed the episode thus far. And I hope you will continue to come back for what will hopefully be the last episode in our perfect regional trade. And so until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for joining me. And until we see you again, I hope that you can all stay safe, happy, and healthy.